Introducing Signal Park, the ultimate solution for operators of parking garages and for the people who use them. It is the first system that detects, counts, and indicates the vacant spaces in a parking garage, and the implications of that are magnificent to contemplate, both in economic terms and in very human terms. This system, designed and manufactured by a Swiss company, is already in wide use in Europe and Asia. It makes all the difference in the world, as you will see. The first installation in the United States was at the very busy Baltimore-Washington International Airport, or BWI, and it's working beautifully.
The Signal Park system for us allows our customers to get into the airport quicker, get to their planes, get out of the airport quicker by finding parking spaces a lot faster. So we found it a great customer service tool. We've gotten a lot of good instantaneous feedback from our customers out there. Even while the guys were installing it, they'd have one zone up and somebody would walk by saying, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen," and I think they barely understood it, quite candidly. So it's been a real winner for us.
The first indication the parking patron gets at a Signal Park facility is a sign outside showing how many spaces are actually available at that moment. Next is an LED sign showing the levels in the garage and the number of spaces available on each. Then, on each level, there is signage indicating again the number of spaces, and better yet, which direction the motorist should take to find a space. Now, thanks to an indicator over every space in the garage, the customer can look down a row and instantly see, thanks to green lights, which spaces are vacant.
It's really a good idea. I mean, we love it. We have never have any problem parking here.
Yes, it's very convenient. You know exactly where to go and park. It makes it easier for you. And instead of circling and driving, you know right where to go.
I thought it was great, actually. I did use it, and I didn't realize until I actually pulled in that there's lights above the parking spaces as well that tell you where you can actually park. So I thought it was great. It's much easier to try to find out where to go versus just driving around endlessly, kind of.
All of the advantages of Signal Park come back to a detector. It took years of research to develop this detector, which works on the ultrasonic radar principle. It measures time elapsed between the emission of a sonic signal and the return of the echo. Thus, it determines whether a space is occupied. This signal is perfect, since it ignores the condition of the vehicle, which may be piled with snow or coated with oil or dust. Best of all, the detector itself has no mechanical parts. It's all electronic. The lamps themselves have a life of 10 years and are visible at a distance of more than 1,000 yards. Vacant spaces are signaled by 6 green LEDs. Occupied spaces show up with a red LED. There are also yellow LEDs for vehicles which have been in a space longer than an authorized time period. Yes, the system keeps track of that too. These detectors are ruggedly built to stand up to the stresses such as vibrations from vehicles moving on the floor above. There are several options for affixing the detectors to the ceiling depending on the height available. The digital signs come in various configurations as well. All have arrow indicators along with digits to show the patron which way to go for available parking spaces and how many there are. All of the data collected by the sensors is automatically routed to the signs so that as soon as a vacancy occurs, that information appears on the appropriate signage. There is, of course, a control center where all of the data is funneled, and the operator can get an instantaneous look at the status of the garage at every level. The center polls the detectors several times a second. It also allows for selective control of certain critical zones in the garage. For instance, if a vehicle enters an almost full level, a full display can go up for a time sufficient for that driver to find a space. Thus, we have a tool to prevent congestion and assist the smooth flow of traffic. The central control also permits reservation of some spaces for regular customers, deducting them from the total available. If necessary, the operator can take manual control of the display signs enabling closure of a zone for maintenance or painting. Perhaps a special event reservation could be handled in this manner. There's also constant information going to the central control, which will show any malfunctions or loss of information due to an accident.
It's a lot easier, and it's convenient, and it makes my job a lot easier. I'm in and out of here quick.
It's very convenient. I followed the green arrows to where the parking spot was. I saw someone ignore, and I got to the spot first, so it took me about less than 30 seconds to find a spot. I was very pleased, and I would recommend other airports to use it as well.
Customers love Signal Park, no question. Now, for the potential operators, a word or two about economics. Signal Park allows for full use of site floor space, whereas now a facility may have to be closed with still plenty of parking available. If this margin exceeds 5% of capacity, the loss of earnings represents a payback of the system's installation expense. More customers because they simply know they can park more conveniently and with less complication at a Signal Park facility. As soon as a new space becomes vacant, a new patron can enter the garage without having to wait for that car to clear the exit. Daily revenue is going to rise, especially in the busiest periods. When installed in existing garages, a redistribution of spaces is possible, adding new sources of income. When it's a new facility, it can be designed with more spaces because no longer will there have to be so much room taken up with back turn lanes. These additional spaces and the revenue they represent will eventually pay for the initial investment in Signal Park in short order.
Well, that's the beauty of this. What we really looked at with the software application and what it really provides for us, number one, there's some maintenance aspects to it. It nails down for you where there's sensors that are out if there is an issue like that. But more importantly, the software is very powerful. It gives us a snapshot of our customers and what they're doing. For example, the garage we have it installed in is an hourly garage. It's up-close parking right up to the airport. And we've already been able to determine the dwell time of some of our customers. And it's giving us a better snapshot of those customers, which helps us plan our facilities better. So that's one of the major things for us. And you're right, typically in a garage environment, it's not unusual to close a garage at maybe 85% fill capacity because you just don't know what the situation is. And the worst possible situation is to have your customers going in a garage with no spaces. With the Signal Park system, you're monitoring it almost in real time. It refreshes every 3 seconds basically, and we have a lot better snapshot of what's happening in that garage, and we don't have to close the garage anywhere near the frequency that we would. The one thing it won't do, and maybe they can work on, is it doesn't create vacant spaces, but it certainly lets you know where the last couple are.
Signal Park, with the precision the Swiss are famous for, is the state-of-the-art answer to most of the problems that plague operators of parking garages. If you want further information about this remarkable system, contact Signal Park USA in Phoenix, Arizona.